Oh, there you go. Okay, well, thank you, Sydney. Yeah, so Amanda, I'm gonna go ahead and start if that's okay with you.
Yes, for y'all, if you don't know Hui Win, we have been lucky enough to have him at EXP for what, 6 years now? How long have you been with us?
I know, right? 2017 is when I first met you.
It's gone by so fast. And he was an investor at the beginning without his license. And he's like, this just makes sense. He has that investor mindset. Why not save that 3%, go directly to the source? And so we've been so excited and honored to get to meet him, learn from him over these years. He has Airbnbs and multiple streams of income, and he's known as the cash flow agent. So thank you, Hui, for being here today.
Yeah. Thank you, Amanda. So I'm super excited to kind of record this presentation today. This is actually my number one question, the question that I get asked, by either by our team member or by my client, right? My own client, my investor, especially in this market right now, how to identify a good opportunity, a good rental or a good flip, right? Unfortunately, there's no short answer for it. I wish I can tell you like, hey, buy this house, buy that house. Unfortunately, fortunately, it's a process. So hopefully within the next hour, I can kind of shed the light to you on how to identify a good rental or a good flip. Whenever you are an agent in my group, you're gonna have more knowledge to find more deal for your client, or if you want to invest in yourself, or if you're interested in become an investor, or an investor friendly agent. After this training, after this recording, you're gonna have the knowledge to do that. So let's go ahead and get started. And thank you, Amanda, for the introduction. And like I told everybody, I've been investing, like I told you, Amanda, I've been investing in real estate since 2010. We have a portfolio of long-term rental. We have a portfolio of short-term rental, which is doing really, really well right now. And recently, I cannot wait. I'm gonna promote Vivian Jeep event on Friday. I cannot wait for her to come to Houston to speak about it. This niche is called midterm rental, right? It's new to me, it's new to her, but I tried two of my house on it, and apparently it's doing really, really well. So pretty excited about that on Friday. So I'm gonna share more detail later on in the next couple of minutes. We done, I think if I count right, me and my partner in crime, we done more than 65 flip and counting, for the past 3 years of us in real estate. And yes, you can become an icon agent, at EXP Realty just by your internal production, right? Half of my internal production, believe it or not, it's just my personal deal. So you can absolutely, hit the highest level at EXP Realty with, just your production and some other investor, here and there counting in. Yeah, so that's my story. I keep my business really simple, and my mission for today, for the next hour, and for my career is to helping more investors create more equity and cash flow. Equity and cash flow is the name of the game, and I really want to spend a good chunk of my time. I want to educate, and I want to mentor, and I want to create, more rockstar real estate agent, especially the one that really want to specialize in the residential investment niche, right? So that's my specialty. The picture on the left, the picture on the right is just me and the rich dad, as everybody know, Robert Kiyosaki. So I have a chance, I have the opportunity to celebrate. I think that was on 2018 on his 20 years of his book, The Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is the most famous book that everybody you must have read already. So if you haven't read the book, absolutely dive in and read that book. That is going to be your fundamental mindset for everything that we do, right? So just the outline of today's topic. I'm gonna go shortly on the mindset. I know it's gonna sound woo-woo to you. It might sound woo-woo to you, but without the right mindset, without that internal financial thermostat capacity, the how-to that doesn't matter, right? So the mindset is so important. And then of course we're gonna jump into the meat of today's topic, which is the buy box. Without a buy box, you cannot identify a good property. And then I'm gonna share with you the tool, and your team, the people that you're gonna be needing around you in order to find, and score those deals, right? I'm gonna do some live example. I really want to show my team and real estate agent, how do we actually find deal on the MLS, right? You can find deal off market, but if you look close enough, if you just stop looking at all the pretty house and you go to all the crappy house, there's a ton of deal on the MLS that you can make offer on, right? And we're gonna go to some live example. And then after that, conclusion, and I'm gonna be here available for a couple of minutes for question and answer. So let's go over what real estate is not, right? And I wish to change your mindset a little bit on what real estate is, because it's actually a little different when it comes to residential investment, right? So real estate is no longer emotional buying and emotional selling. And I know as a real estate agent, as a realtor, sometimes we are guilty of it. We tend to hit the buyer on the emotional side in order to get them buy a house, in order to get them sell a house. We try to get them emotional involved, right? But as the real estate agent who focus on residential investment or investment in general, right? You cannot get the emotion overcome your decision, right? It needs to based on fact. It needs to based on number. So real estate is no longer emotional for you when it comes to real estate investment. You have to make decision, a rational decision, based on metric, based on number, right? And I just want to get this one out of the way. Real estate price is not always going up. You're gonna be surprised. There's gonna be a lot of real estate agent out there. They tell their client that real estate price is always going up, right? If you ever run into any of those people, please run away from them as fast as you can, because real estate price, as you see right now with the rising of interest rate, they don't always go up, right? Some of the pocket of the neighborhood, they get depreciated by 20 or 30% right now. So if you ever heard somebody say something like that, just run away from them as fast as you can, right? Real estate is not hope. I didn't know the thing until I start to talk to people, right? And then apparently a lot of clients, especially first-time investor, they buy real estate with the hope that, hey, I buy this house and I hope it's gonna go up, right? I hope I can rent it out. I hope it's gonna increase in value. I got bad news for you. It's not hope, right? It's based on metric. You have to get your license. You have to get your realtor, or as a real estate agent, you have to be able to run a number. You have to be able to run projection, and you're gonna be able to advise your client based on fact, right? That is this an appreciating neighborhood or not? So real estate is not hope. I didn't know. I did not know it's the thing until I start talking to people, and when they start to use the word hope, it just freaked me out. So real estate is not 100% passive. We all hope that the goal is to set up a stream of income, but in order to set it up, it's going to require work, right? And sometimes a lot of work in the beginning. So if somebody told you that, hey, buy this deal, you're going to get mailbox money, you don't need to do anything. Well, think twice before you listen to the advice, right? Unfortunately, there's no shortcut. We do require, real estate does require a lot of work, especially in the beginning, in order to set up that stream of income. But once you set it up, it could be passive, right? And real estate is not risk-free, right? We all see what is happening right now with the hurricane. We all see what is happening right now with the fire in Hawaii. This is an investment, and you need to hedge your investment, right? By either using insurance, have plan B, plan C exit strategy. This is not risk-free, right? This is not a stock. This is actually, this is an actual building, that a hurricane can blow to, the fire can get to it, and the tenant can stop paying you. So have a mitigation plan, and make sure you are comfortable, with the what if scenario, right? What if things goes wrong? Well, if A go wrong, if this go wrong, this is what I'm gonna do. So always have that thing planned before you coming into any investment. So real estate absolutely not risk-free. So be mindful of that, right? And of course, this is not a get rich quick scheme, because it does take time and it does take effort to be successful in real estate investment. And then what real estate is then, right? This is cash flow for rental, so we buy based on cash return. Real estate is cash flow, period. Right? Real estate, when it comes to flip, it's all about forced appreciation, right? Hey, if I'm gonna buy the house at $100,000, if I'm gonna put in, $30,000 worth of work, how much I can force the value of the house to, right? So that's flip, right? There's only two ways that you can make money in real estate. It's either cash flow or equity, right? And this is a two-way, either rental or renting things out, and then by forced appreciation, which is flip. more like a job in my opinion, but for today's presentation, we're going to treat it like, we're going to, rental and flip. Well, when it comes to rental, you're going to have tax benefit, right? There is a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of benefit when you own income producing real estate, right? Not the house that you stay in, but when you own income producing real estate, that's where all the tax benefit come in. There's not a lot of tax benefit when it comes to flip, right? Because it's going to be taxes as the ordinary income. And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a CPA, but I believe there is a law right now. There's a loophole when it comes to short-term rental. It allows real estate investor to deduct 100% of it's going to allow real estate investor to have maximum deduction of the short-term rental without being a real estate professional classification on the IRS, right? So right now is that there's that tax benefit for short-term rental investor. Make sure you look into that. So just to elaborate the point that there's a lot of tax benefit when it comes to real estate, right? And real estate is control. You have total control of the property. You decide who to rent. You decide when to sell it. You control your own destiny, if you will. And this is one reason I love real estate so much, because I have control over my investment. I make the decision, right? And then real estate is education, right? I was just in a conversation last night on my way to tennis with one of my clients, and he basically he tried to kind of push everything and delegate everything to me and to everybody else. Like, hey, I'm a dentist, I'm a doctor. I go, I spend all my life, learning. I want to focus on my job. I don't want to learn anything about real estate. Can you just find me a deal, that make money? And I hate to deliver him a bad news, right? And sometimes I'm just gonna be completely honest, right? If you're not looking to learn, if you're not looking to educate yourself in the space, it's gonna be very difficult for you to to become a successful real estate investor, right? It just like dental, just like doctor, it requires different skill. Even though you have a team around you, you as an investor, you still need to require education, right? Whenever it's reading the book, going to a class like this, it's require continuous education in order for you to become a successful real estate investor. So there's no shortcut, right? And then the last point that I want to emphasize, before all this is real estate. It's just math, right? And it's just multiplication, and it's not calculus. It's addition, it's subtract, and it's multiplication. And if you can just get that right, everything else is gonna work out a lot easier for you. Oops. And here comes the number one question, right? From every buyer. Right. Hey, can you find me a good deal? Hey, is KD a good area to invest in? Is there a 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom better? Is Airbnb like a good investment? What do you think about Cypress? What if this and that happened, right? Might as well ask me, what about Moon and Mars? So this question right here, it all can be answered if we can introduce the buy box, which is your investment objective, right? So I'm introducing to you the buy box, right, which is gonna solve all the questions that you have. And you need to have this before you come into an investment world. So what is a buy box, right? It is a carefully selected set of criteria based on your research and investment objective to give clarity to yourself, right? First to yourself and then to your team, so that your team know exactly what to look for, right? If you're gonna ask me to look for a good deal for you, right? I don't know what is a good deal for you until I ask you more questions, and until I can help you build a buy box that is gonna be, fit your investment philosophy, which is what we're gonna go over, versus myself. So what is a good deal for investor A, right? It could be a long-term rental in Katy or in Cypress or in Hockley with a tax rate below 2.5%. I make a mistake on this, with an HOA below 250 and the price point below 250, right? And the rent need to be below above 2,200. And his objective is for the tax benefit, right? He's a California investor. He make a lot of money on his W-2 income. He need a way to offset his W-2 income, right? So that is a perfect good deal for investor A. What about investor B, right? He really want to, he really love the beach. He love fishing, and he want to combine, his lifestyle with his investment. So a good deal for him is going to be a 5-minute walk, a house within 5-minute walk to Freeport Beach with a price below 350. It has to be new because it's really far and he doesn't want to deal with repair. And, he want to look for a plan B just in case, like, hey, one day I don't want to stay here anymore. The short-term rental gross income, I needed to be above $5,000 to support the mortgage of the house, right? And then somebody can lease it out when it's empty. So his objective is completely different from investor A. His objective is for personal enjoyment, and he just want a free vacation house, right? So that is a very good down investment to me. So this is a good one I want to share, right? So the more specific it is that you get to your buy box, the better, the better it's going to help yourself and your team find something that's good for you. So if you're in Houston, you all know that, we have an explosion, right? A factory blew up in Spring Branch, right? So this investor, she tell me like, hey, Huy, I just want to look specifically for house in Spring Branch within 1 mile of the blast radius, right? And it need to be under 150, right? Major repairs okay for me. I buy a bunch of house here. I know how to deal with house that, that need the explosion. And I'm gonna show you some example. We find ton of deal around that area because a lot of the house they have engine, and after the homeowner they get the engine, they just put the house on the market for like $100,000, $90,000. They just want to get rid of it, right? And that is an opportunity for investor to come in, right? So yeah, the more specific you are, the more easy it is for you to find your good deal, which is what everybody look for, right? Investor D. This is actually my personal buy box, to be honest with you. And, I'm sharing this with you right now. If you ever run into anything like this, and if you don't have a buyer, think of me, think of my team as the buyer, right? So for investor D, we look for any houses under $220,000 purchase price. It has to be after 1980 because we don't want to deal with major repair. It has to be on slab. We don't deal with P&B foundation. 322 is the minimum. We don't buy anything with 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom. Right? It needs to be within 45 minutes of 77065, which is where I'm staying at right now, because we're not going to drive an hour to see a property and then drive an hour to fix it, right? So this is very specific, for this particular investor. So again, the more specific you are, the easier it is for you and your team to find a deal for you, especially the wholesaler. You have to be super specific with the wholesaler, right? We buy anything with 80% of AIV, which means that, hey, if the house is $100,000, we can buy the maximum that we can buy is $80,000 minus the repair, right? And we need to clear a minimum of $30,000 per project for 3 months, right? So make it super clear, and communicate this, just like how I'm communicating this to you right now, to the wholesaler. When there's a deal come up, they know that, 99% of the time I'm going to buy because it fit my buy box, right? I'm a good buyer and I always deliver. Right. So yeah, that's more example. You can go to investor E, they look for house specifically in independent height, which is a good area right now, in my opinion. And then you're gonna come in, for short-term rental, for investor F, somebody with short-term rental, a pool is a must, right? A big house a must. And I know there's a ton of people in my group right now. They are very successful with this buy box, right? Big house, big lot, huge backyard, with pool and jacuzzi, and they are just killing it on the short-term rental platform. So that is a good deal for investor F, right? It might not be a good deal for investor B because that requires so many involvement, right? So many day-to-day management. So you need to extract this buy box from your client or from yourself in order for you to find a good deal. If you're gonna keep finding a good deal, you will never find it, right? Unless you extract yourself from this extract this criteria out from your client or from yourself. Right, same thing with investor G, right? They are looking for a big piece of land, so that way they can do development, right? So that is a completely different deal from investor A, where they look for long-term rental, right? Yeah, and then I'm gonna sell my event on Friday again. If you want to learn about midterm rental, on Friday at 11 a.m. make sure to show up at the Cannon and learn about midterm rental. So more on that later. Yeah. And if you are with eXp Realty already, my fully make sure you look up express offer, because we partner with, with a gazillion of hedge fund, and these hedge fund, they are professional buyer, right? They are not your typical mom and pop buyer. They have a large access of liquid line, and they clearly define their buy box, right? So cash flow DFW group, you can see their buy box. Gold Coast Equity, you can see their buy box, and if you can find them a deal that fit their buy box, they're gonna buy, no question asked, right? So definitely, if you are with eXp Realty, check out express offer and get certified, because this is, if you want to focus on residential investment, and if you don't have any client to start with, express offer is going to be a great for you to kind of get your feet wet in this, investment arena, right? And there's so many hedge fund iBuyer on the platform, right? And it's just an opportunity for us to go and help, and to go and help and find deal, and start, understanding this, this niche about real estate investment, right? There's so many buyer out there who's looking for a good deal, right? But what is a good deal? You have to look at their buy box. Yeah. So I really want to for everybody to write this down, because it's so profound. When you need to do this correctly. Amateur, look for good deal, right? When you see somebody look for good deal, you know that they're an amateur. But a professional, we look to fulfill our investment objective, right? So write this down. Amateur, look for good deal. Professional, look to fulfill their investment objective, right? That's two different things. And as a real estate agent, you should help your client find an investment objective, right? By asking a lot of questions to flush out, like, hey, what do you really want when it comes to, your investment, right? What worked for you? What is a good deal for you, right? So this is all about, finding your investment objective or your buy box, right? So you can look at job growth, if you're in the city, where you stay at, or if you want to invest in any different city, there's a lot of research that you can just dive in and look about the job growth, and see what company is moving in, see the population grow, right? One of the reasons that Texas is booming right now, because we have so many companies like Tesla, Hewlett Packard, Medical Hub. There's so many companies that is moving their headquarters into Texas, right? And that's one of the reasons that drive our population growth, which lead to job growth, and and then the real estate price around it, right? Follow your city business journal. I personally read the Houston Business Journal every day or every week. It just keeps me updated on the job growth, the population trend, and all the investment about Houston, right? It's focused on commercial, but commercial, residential, there's a lot of intersection where you can actually see the trend, of where the next, where people is moving to. That is really important, right? In-person training, social event, see what others doing is working. Don't stay in your silo. It's the real estate is teamwork, right? And we're going to talk about that later. And then of course, and then of course, proximity is matter, right? So if you hang your license with an investor-friendly team or investor-friendly brokerage, this is all we talk about day in and day out, right? If you hang your license, with a more traditional broker, if all they do is open house, first-time home buyer, and then it's, your buy box is going to be completely different from the buy box of somebody who focus on investment, right? It could be a cute family, it could be a cute house, in a very expensive, tax rate, with very high HOA, that make no money. So that's your buy box, and if that's your buy box, and then well, it's very different from residential investment, right? We look at the number, we look at math. So, just hang yourself with investor-friendly team and brokerage. That's the best way to start. And then follow thought leader, right? Just like what I'm sharing you right now, I follow the Real Estate Guy Radio Show. They share so much content when it comes to, real estate investment that you can kind of tap into, listen to it on your day to work, and just kind of tune yourself into the space, right? Just like I told my client yesterday, right? If you want to hit a tennis ball, the first thing you got to do is to get on the tennis court. If you don't get on the tennis court, there's nothing that I cannot tell you right now is going to work, right? You got to get on the tennis court first, and then they're going to tell you how to hit the ball, right? Stop asking me how to hit the ball because you haven't get into the tennis court first. I hope you get the idea. So anyway, So personal investment philosophy, this is really important. And I actually drop a link right here. If you sign up for this presentation, I'm going to say, if you sign up for this training, I'm going to share this presentation with you. It has a link, to the to a training about personal investment philosophy, right? And this is the way for you, to find out your buy box. And this is the way for you to, to share this exercise with your client and make them make them go through this exercise in detail and then come up with their buy box, right? So, hey, what is the objective? Do you look for, do you look for equity growth, or do you look for more cash flow, for more income? Right? What is your risk tolerance? Are you like super conservative? You don't deal with, area in like a D class area, C class area? Do you only buy in like a good A plus neighborhood, or are you in between, right? Are you looking for something, in the middle? So make sure your risk tolerance, you've clearly defined that. The property, are you focused on, commercial, single family like me right now? Are you gonna do buy and hold, or are you more heavy on the flip side, right? And you can change your investment philosophy every 6 months or every 1 year, right? This is for you to work on, but you know exactly what is your focus, right? Yeah. So do you want to own like a beach house, like one of my client, or are you comfortable with, doing rooming house, right? One of my client, they are doing so well with rooming house, and it's just a very different, clientele, a very different tenant type, versus when you own like a beach house. So kind of see what fit for you and then wrote it down, right? Don't put it in your head, wrote it down. So yeah, management preference, do you prefer to have somebody like completely manage your project, your investment, or you would like to learn, get your hand dirty and then manage it personal and extract even more cash flow from it, right? So write it down. My current personal real estate investment philosophy is da 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 da, and then my specific strategy for this year is da 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 da, right? So you write it down, give it to your client or give it to yourself, and then put it somewhere, pin it somewhere where you can clearly see, so that way you don't wander around from it, right? And that's how you define your buy box. So do this and then just come back, and then have a even more refined buy box. And trust me, when you have that clarity, the deal is going to start showing up everywhere, right? So just want to emphasize on the in-person training and also show event real quick. So on Friday, on August the 25th, we're going to have, the Helping Asian Club. We're going to present, Midterm Rental Wealth by Vivian Yip. She's going to coming down all the way here from Austin just to share with us about this niche. And yeah, this is a free event, thankfully to my roofer. This is a pay event. And then, I cannot, tell you how amazing this is. Thảo and Amanda, they're going to get together and they're going to share with us, how to get, how to net, not how to gross, right? She specifically tell me to put in, to tell Sydney to put in the event, like how to net $1 million to real estate team model. So this is a pay event, but man, if you cannot, if you cannot spend $50 and come here and learn from all the rockstar, I got nothing else for you. So make sure you sign up and show up for this event. And of course, we emphasize a lot on leadership in the group, in the team. We're going to have our leadership retreat on September. So make sure you get with Amanda on this. And of course, if you are with EXP Realty, we have EXP Con that is coming up in October. So, these are the major events for Q4. Make sure you follow up, sign up, show up, network with us, and that's how we learn and we grow together. All right, so moving on to the tool. Let me take a sip of water real quick. How am I doing on time?
You're doing great. It's only 10:30.
Okay, almost done. So moving on to the tool, right? So now you define your buy box. You're gonna get to the tool. We need tool to run our business. Right. So first of all, look at your MLS tool, right? Later on in the lab demo, you're going to be surprised. You have so many tools, that can help you, kind of look really presentable in front of your investor already, right? So if you pay your due to the HAR Association, you're going to get access to the cash flow calculator, and you're going to get access to the fix and flip analysis. And to my surprise, they are pretty darn accurate, right? I compare some of my projects, that on my own spreadsheet, the MLS spreadsheet, and they are very, very accurate. So you make sure you take full advantage of that, right? We have KV Core, which we have KV Core, which I'm gonna talk about later with my team. And then make sure you stay tuned to Investment Podcast and Audible. This is the book that I highly recommend. It's say be in the top 1%, a real estate agent guide to getting rich in the real estate property investment property niche, right? So make sure you get that book. Bob is an amazing, speaker and writer. Yeah. And then mindset again, right? This is one of my favorite listening when it comes to mindset. And then calm, calm. Calm is so important. Math is important. You need to understand and run your number correctly. So you can either get your real estate license and learn how to do this on your own, or rely on your realtor, right? So the choice is yours. There's no right or wrong answer. Short-term rental, AirDNA, Price Lab, I'm saying this right now because there's so many people that ask me to run calm on short-term rental. Unfortunately, guy, it takes dedicated work, and Vivian can explain it to you. In order for someone to give you a correct rent analysis on short-term rental, it's gonna take them like a good 30 and 40 minutes, right? So it's not something that we can run like 1 or 2 minutes and then we can split out the answer, right? We're gonna have a separate training for it, but just keep in mind that there's tool for you to learn, and anybody can access it. It's cheap, but it's not fast like a realtor can split out a comp. So remember that it's a very dedicated and careful process to come up with a comp for short-term rental, right? And we have a spreadsheet for short-term rental, which I share here with the link. If later on when you get the presentation, you can get access to my spreadsheet for short-term rental, see how I analyze things, and the basic short-term long-term rental spreadsheet, right? So that's there's all the tool out there, and of course Bigger Pocket has always been there since the beginning. Oops, what did I click on? Okay, there you go. Yeah, just to run over some additional off-market source, right? I believe, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe like only 50% of the deal is trading on the MLS, if you will, and then there's a whole other world called off-market, right? These are houses that get closed without even be on the on the market, if you will. So pay attention to auction.com. There's going to be a lot of time that I see all the time houses on auction.com. They don't get listed on the MLS, right? And this is where all the users, they don't get a lot of traffic. You can just come in, drive by the house, don't do anything illegal, just drive by the house. And then sometimes you have to buy the house sight unseen and take the risk, so go to auction.com for that. Be frank with the wholesaler. These are direct marketer, people that actually, door knocking, doing mailing, they spend a ton of money on marketing in order to, bring you the deal, right? And then you get the opportunity of, buy the deal off from them or post for a profit, right? Or assignment fee. It could be $5,000. It could be $10,000. It could be $20,000. I don't care. The more the money my wholesaler friend make, I'm glad for them. Like, hey, Mr. Wholesaler, please make more money, but this is my buy box, right? And the moment you have, as long as it fit my buy box, I'm going to buy from you, right? It doesn't matter how much money you make, and you communicate that to your wholesaler. It make them more comfortable dealing with you, right? Hot Home Store is a good one. Investor Lift is another site. I bought house from Facebook group and marketplace before, so make sure you pay attention to a lot of these off-market site. My latest tiny house, the tiny house that I did for the Subtour Asian Network presentation, I bought it on Facebook Marketplace, right? $16,000. It's on the market for like 1 day. We drop everything, we cancel all the showing, we go there, we see it. We sell the guy $16,000. We hook it on the back of our truck, and then we drive it back home, right? So you can find deal on Facebook group and Facebook Marketplace. Make sure you keep an eye on them, right? My house deal is very similar to Investor Lift. This is like the MOS of the wholesaler, and then if you have a buy box clearly defined, your assistant can help you look for it. You can look for it, your team can help you look for it, right? But come back to having a very defined buy box, and then having someone or yourself or go to all these different resources to look for that, right? Same thing with lawyer, with title company. If you keep telling people that, hey, I want to find a good deal to buy, nobody's going to know what a good deal is, right? But if you're going to give them a clearly buying box, like, hey, I'm in Pearland, you know, I specifically want to look for a house in Pearland within 2 miles of my radius, you know, that I can just buy, fix it up, and lease it out under $250,000 per se. You're gonna have people, you know, you're gonna have your friend, your people, your lawyer, your title company partner. You know, this is B2B business, right? They want to do business with you, so they will help you find a deal. So make sure you let all your business partner know what you are looking for, right? That's well, we bought so many deals from, you know, just like from Amanda. You know, I let Amanda know what I'm looking for, and she found a deal, and then, you know, she bring it to me, and I will make sure that, you know, I return the favor, right? So yeah, you know, let your business partner know, you know, what you're looking for, and you're gonna be surprised that, you know, the deal flow that will coming at you. Live auction, this is not my expertise, but, you know, keep an eye on your county live auction. There's a lot of auction going on, you know, on your county. For example, Harris County is the first Tuesday of every week, right? Big wholesaler, real equity, New Western, big state, just pay attention to their number. But a lot of the time, they will have deal that will fit your buy box as well, right? The number is sometimes inflated when it comes to ARV. So make sure you have your license to double check the ARV, or you have your realtor double check the ARV. And then property manager and all the realtor as well, as we talk about. So that's like 100, you know, all the off-market sources you can tap into on top of the MLS, right? I'm gonna quickly skim through this, right? Your team, right? This is a team sport, so you're gonna need your agent, your mortgage broker, your private lender is so important. Maybe later on, Amanda can talk about Jeff and Amanda can talk about the private lender that they're doing right now for our group. Property manager, real estate investment group, title company, wholesaler, insurance agent, eviction company, right? Hey, what if my house get evicted? I don't know, but go talk to an eviction company and see what they would do for you. So get all this thing ready, you know, prepare for all the what if scenario. So that way you're confident moving into your investment, right? But yeah, so look for trouble, right? You know, we don't look for $4 million house. We don't look for a nice pool, but we look for trouble, right? Because if I can solve other people's problem and then for profit, and then we make money, right? So when you see a condenser sitting on a patio, like the house that I just bought, I just know that it's a deal, right? The moment I see that, and then actually when I walk into the house, I see a toilet sitting on the living room, I know that's a deal, right? I know the seller's in distress. And actually for this one, I know that it's in a good area because the condenser has been sitting there for like a long time. The door is open and nobody took it. So I know it's a good deal, right? I know it's in a good neighborhood. So that's the deal. So we grab it. Yeah. How I'm doing on time? 14. I'm gonna quickly run through this, right? So buy box. So this is one example of the buy box. Hey, I'm looking for a 1 or 2 bedroom condo under 150 that I can just buy with cash, no repair nearby the Galleria, right? Super defined, right? Why? Why most people does not look at condo for investment because of the high HOA fee, but a well-maintained HOA with reasonable fee will significantly reduce your expense and provide a value to the tenant. In prime location, it will force rent higher than average. So Galleria, condo under 150. Hey, if I can find it, if you can find anything like that, I'm buying. And what I want to say, I am on it, right? Because now as a real estate agent, I am exactly clear on what is my client is looking for, right? It's super easy for me to find deal for him. And yeah, you know, we found a deal for 105, you know, here's the gross rent. You know, there's not a lot of expense when it comes to condo because the HOA cover all of them. And then, you know, he is earning a whooping 12% on the investment, right now this year. So, you know, deal like that is still exists, but you have to have a clearly defined buy box. Yeah. So we're gonna do some live demo just to show you how we set it up on the MOS. And again, your MOS might be different, you know, but the process is the same, right? So which one should we start with? Amanda, can you help me pick one?
Oh.
Y'all want to look for rental, look for flip, you know, or look for some bird stuff?
Rental.
Rental? Okay, perfect. So let's look for a rental in Houston, right? Long-term rental, tax rate below. This is a typical buy box. Of course, your buy box might be different, but this is what I see, you know, a lot of people is looking for right now. Or what I advise them to look for, right? Because the tax rate is so important, right? Tax is going to be like the most, you know, fixed expense, the biggest expense for you. So when it comes to long-term rental, you know, let's say this investor A, they want to look for long-term rental in the Houston area with a tax rate below 2.5. HO below 250, right? Because we want lower fixed expense, and the price needs to be, below 250. Rent needs to be above this area, and the objective is to, 7% cash on cash return. So we're gonna go to HAR. We're gonna go to member only area. We're gonna go to access the matrix, which we always do, and then we're gonna go look for classic single family, right? So what is the buy box? Oops. The buy box is this. Okay, so we're gonna input it in. So let's say if I'm buying it, I'm gonna, just draw a radius, like, hey, this is the area that I focus on. Over here is kind of far from me, over here is kind of far from me. So this is what I'm focusing on. Right. And then the price is going to be under 250. So do 250 minus. And then if you notice, on the additional field, you can add and remove, a lot of custom variable here, right? I already have a lot of them set up. But for the tax rate, you're going to see if you add and remove, you're going to see that, there's a custom variable field for the tax rate. So we're going to do tax rate less than 2.5. And then for the HOA, I think there's an HOA fee. Is it? I can't remember right now, but I believe there's a HOA fee, but I can't find it right now. So we're just going to leave it like that. And then for the square foot lead, I usually do, if you see the number right here, I usually get the list down to like, I would say, like 50 house. If you send people like 235 houses, they're probably not going to look at it, right? So on the list price, I usually do less than 120 and minus. All right, so you get down to 140. Make sure it's 3 bed and above, 2 bed and above. Let's say private pool and 190 pool. Okay, so we have 26 match, right? Let's take a look. What's over here? Yummy. Okay, it might be a deal. Oh, actually, I want to see this house already. Funny. Yeah, I want to see this house already. So okay, well, see. So thank you for showing multiple offer received, blah 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 blah. So you know that this might be working for you, right? So let's say I'm gonna take this house, and I want to run I want to run some analysis in it and see like, hey, if I'm gonna lease this house out, how much it's gonna make, right? So we're gonna go back to HAR, go to member only portal, and this tool is gonna blow your mind, right? Because I don't think, I think like realtor like us, when we go to HAR, we always click on access the matrix, right? We don't look at anything else here. But if you look on the tool around here, there's a ton of stuff for you to leverage on, right? So if you go to financial investment tool, you're gonna see that there's a cash flow and cap rate and fix and flip analysis right here, right in front of you. So you're gonna cash flow, you click on start, you enter the property, and then boom, hope it worked. Okay, there you go. Wow, look at that, right? So you're gonna start, analyzing it right away. And the good thing about using this tool on the MOS is that they input a lot of default information for you already. So you don't have to, like manually input it again. If your MOS doesn't have this tool, and then you just have to, get the information and then you plug it in your own spreadsheet, right? So this is a list price. The tax appraisal value is 245. It's like, woo. So I know that, probably the market value is going to be way higher than that. Might be about like 265 to 270 or something. So if I can buy this for 200, and let's say, the mortgage right now, you need to fix this number is 7, right? And then, this is the gross monthly price. When I run the number, remember these are the number that split out from the automatic, right? You can click on it here, and then you can see what COM is the system is using. So I just happen to actually run this house by myself already. The lease price is going to be a little less than that, 2,200, right? They even account for your vacancy. They even, plug in the property tax for you already. Insurance is going to probably higher than 1,200 right now. So I'm going to put, 1,800. Right, and then HOA, they input HOA in for you already. 10% of gross income. I have a good property manager, so I can probably go get away with 8%, probably less than that, but just for the sake of the example, right? So after you plug everything in, you're gonna see that, hey, it's actually generate a 7% cap rate. And, if I'm gonna put a mortgage on it, unfortunately, right now with the interest rate at 7%, I'm gonna have negative leverage, right? So I put leverage on it, I actually earn less money. So it might not be a good idea to put a loan on it, but at least you see right here, right? And then come back to your investment objectives. Like, hey, this is actually a 7%, cash on cash return, right? And that if you can get this house, at the asking price at $200,000, and trust me, you can, right? I can show you later. You can get it. Depend on how good your offer is, of course. But if you can get it at $200,000, you're gonna have a significant amount of equity build up. The house doesn't need a lot of repair. Let me see. Yeah, the house doesn't need a lot of repair at all. Probably about $10,000 worth of repair, and then it's gonna be ready for rental. It even have the fridge in there for you. So if you set up your buy box correctly, by just the first click, I can find like a perfect house that fit my buy box already. And this ghost piano really freaked me out because I went see that house with Jenny at like 7 p.m. and then there's a piano. It's just give me like a really, really weird feeling. Anyhow. But yeah, so that is for the rental. Let's say for the flip, right? So let's say, yeah, we do have time for a live example, another live. So let's say if I want to look for the flip, one of the buy boxes like, hey, anything under 250, build after 1980, 322 minimum within 45 minutes of driving from 77065, with 80% ARV again, right? And the objective is $30,000 per project. So let's take a look, right? So we're going to go to church, go to classic single family. This one, I actually gonna give you an example of the deal we just closed using the buy box. So I'm gonna check the sold box. So in order for it to show up, right? And then I'm gonna draw a radius again from my house. Go around like this. This is the radius that I'm willing to travel. Right? And then it's gonna be a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Let's say no private pool. The price is gotta be under 250. For this example, I'm just gonna do minus 200 because 250, you're gonna actually see a lot of them. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, the year build, right? So the year build is 180 and above. So let me quickly look at the map real quick. Might be too much. So let me look at this. Oh, there you go. Okay, let me see if I can find a house I bought. So I mean, if you can see here, you can see that people they buy a house for cheap as well, right? So if they can buy it, like why not you, right? Why are you not the one who who can buy this deal, right? So this is the house that we personally purchased, and again, it's on the MLS. It fit my buy box. Loading. Right, it lists for $175,000. So we come in, we see the house condition, we estimate the repair, and then we put in an offer for 108. And the 8110 is just to get their attention, right? Which I do. I get their attention, and I got the house for 108, 8110. So, and the way we analyze the deal, we have a spreadsheet, and I shared a spreadsheet. I shared a spreadsheet with you in my presentation, but for the demonstration, we're going to use the financial investment tool, and we're going to use the fix and flip analysis, right? So hey, this is a good house to flip. Let's take a look at it. Ignaling, and see how much we can make money from it, right? So we punch in the address, and then if you run your comp, this is comp is very accurate already, but since I run the comp manually, I know that this area is going to run a little more than that. So I'm going to put in 160. Yep, which is the comp over in this area, the subject property. We're gonna do another class on how to estimate repair, but for now, it is costing us. We did the foundation on this one. We did plumbing. We do plan. We do floor, appliance. So a lot of this stuff, you can actually customize it, right? But yeah, it actually gonna cost us this much, about 35 grand to fix it up. And as you can see, after repair value, initial offer is 80%. So yeah, just plug it in the calculator. It tells you exactly what to offer, right? So if the market value is this much, and then if you're gonna take it, and then if it's gonna take you $35,000 to repair the house, and this is going to be the offer price, right? 108, 280. And then this is the profit that you're going to make, the gross profit. So you take 169 minus 215, you net about, $45,000 gross, which net 30K, right? So come back to my buy box. It fit my buy box, right? So I immediately jump on it. I call the listing agent, I send out a good offer and we seal the deal, right? So getting the deal is hard. Finding a deal is hard. Getting the deal is even harder, right? And just want to go over some stuff with you. Cash is king. It doesn't have to be your cash, but in order to find an investment property, in order to buy an investment property, if you're gonna put a loan on it, it's gonna freak the seller out. So make sure, if you're gonna get your cash ready, and have a very liquid amount to be able to act on, right? Flexible on term, seller, they're in distress. The more difficult you are, the harder it is for you to get a deal, right? So high earnest money, no option fee. Hey, if you want to lease back, if you want free lease back, go ahead and do the free lease back, right? Hey, I'm gonna close as fast as you can, right? And of course, your professional representation, your reputation, and the video included with your offer is gonna be, make all the difference, right? So if you want to learn more about that, we have a club. It's called the Helping Agent Club. This is a club that we are building, and in here I share a lot of secret when it comes to winning the offer, right? So this is a video format that I use to win in multiple offer situation. It's a simple record and shoot that you send together with your cover letter. I use BombBomb to send it out, so you can track how many times the video was watched. Simple but amazingly effective to convey your message and intention to the seller and the listing agent, right? It's so important, and you cannot do that in the email. You have to use video. So yeah, so hopefully nobody gonna use it against me on the next project, but I share that in the group, and I drop the link here. If you join the group, you're gonna see a lot of resource, that we are sharing, just real estate agent helping one another on how to win, offer on how to win offer in a multiple, multiple offer situation. Yeah. So at the end, when you don't know what to do, guys, do the number, and the number will tell you what to do, right? So this is a quote I live by. If you're confused, go back to the basic. If you don't know what to do, do the number, right? And from the number, it will tell you exactly what to do, right? I want to bring up this word alignment, as I end this presentation. As you can see, this is not a get rich quick scheme. Experience unfortunately count. And the only way to get experience is to actually do the work, right? And you get that, by having the right alignment, with your mentor, with your real estate broker, with your team. I know at least in my group, we have a lot of hand-on and shadowing experience, on real estate project. I'm not the only one who invests in real estate in my group. There's a lot of other investors. Each, have different buy box, and each has been very successful in their own way, right? So by aligning yourself with the right people, with the right group, you get experience, you get hand-on, you get shadowing. Unfortunately, there's no right way there's no formula to estimate the repair accurately, based on experience, and you get help with that by aligning yourself with the right people, right? And just, surround yourself with, with people who've been there, done that. And especially the, guy like me, guy like, V, a lot of people in the group, right? We're not guru, right? We're not even professional speaker. This is what we do on a daily basis. This is one of our income stream. This is one of our bread and butter. right? And we get to share our experience, within the group. So you get to network with us, a lot of investor, a lot of partner, and especially private lending is so big right now. If you're just getting started, that's exclusive private lending deal, within the group that you can tap yourself into. And of course, the best thing to learn is to, learn on other people mistake, which is mentorship, right? So that is my, the word that I want you to write down is my alignment. And if you scan that code, and book a 20-minute with me, I will see if we are really meant to be aligned with each other. And that's it, Amanda. How am I doing, Cam?
That was
2 minutes
amazing.
left.
That all the questions in this chat, it's like we need to have you for another hour, I swear. Like, how do we know how much it's going to cost to fix it up? How do we find contractors? Do we hire a GC? I mean, you could just go on and on about this. It's amazing. So this is an awesome foundation. Thank you, Hui.
Yeah. So let me look at the chat right now. If there's any question I can answer. Now y'all can open your mic. Sorry, we have been muting your mic the entire time. Is tiny house considered a real estate project? Absolutely. Tiny house, big money. So if you just open up Google right now, if you type Leo, Leo Houston Airbnb, you're gonna see my portfolio, and you're gonna, if you look if you look up my tiny house on AirDNA, you're gonna see how much money it's making, right? It's good. It's good. Let me see. Leo Airbnb, right? Look it up. Look it up. And see what is my gross income on AirDNA. All right, that's going to be a good homework for you, right? That's how you do your due diligence, right? There's tool like Price Lab, like AirDNA, all this information is public, right? You can look at other people's property and you can figure out their gross. And the net, just take 70% off of the gross, right? And then you can figure out the net.
So a lot of people are asking how they can take you out to lunch or ask you different questions or get a copy of this. What's the best way for them to reach out to you after this Zoom?
Yeah, so the QR code, if you sign up, there's gonna be a link, to book a call directly with me for 20 minutes. If you're with EXP already, you should have my cell phone. If you're with EXP and not in the group, you can always find me on Workplace. I heavily utilize Workplace. It's the best way for us, EXP agent to interact with each other, right? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on Workplace. So if you are already with EXP with my group and you don't have Workplace yet, make sure you download the app and you get on Workplace, right? I check my Workplace, and I really want to move people to Workplace because that's where all the use is, and a lot of people is missing out on that.
This is amazing. Thank you, Hui, for sharing all of your secrets and for your expertise. We do this every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central. Hui is very passionate about agents helping agents, regardless of their brokerage or if they're new or not. So scan that code and book with him. And thank you, Hui. I hope you guys all have a great week.
Yeah, so let me go back to the event real quick. So yeah, well, oops, I think I hit it. The best way to get a hold of me is going to event, right? So the 25th of August right here, if you're in Houston, or if you're within 2 hours of driving, just like Vivian, she came all the way here from Austin to educate us about, the midterm rental. So definitely going to the event. And then of course, I cannot wait until, the September to hear this 2 mega icon talking about team model. And then there's a retreat. And then of course, there's an EXP con. So the best way to reach me is by going to event. So I'm really, really driving event because it's so important for you to go to event, not only to talk to me, but to network with all the people around you. And your mind is going to be exploded after you go to our event, right? Because we put so much effort and good material, good content in our event for a reason.
I'm excited for this one with Tao. Both of us have 2 different teams, and it's how to net 7 figures a year by having a real estate team and actually have some time freedom. So it'll be great.
Epic.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you, Hui.
Wait for that.
You're amazing. Everyone reach out to Hui. We all would love to help you in any way, and we'll see you next week.
All right. See you next week. Well, see you this Friday.
Yeah.
So
Bye.
yeah.